Well, good morning from the Teacher's Diary. I'm Mr. Bowers. You can call me Kevin. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I kind of tease along the Japanese papers. And I'm teaching the kids this. I got it set up kind of cathedral style right now. As you can see this, hold on. Got to loosen this part here. So you can kind of see I got my whole classroom set up cathedral style. So then, or theater style, so then they can actually watch. But how do I go from that making this? And some of these papers are really kind of cool, like that one there, all for folding, for doing Japanese work on, you know, everything from cherry blossoms to the Japanese writing type thing. So basically all I'm using is I cut my paper from 8.5 by 11 down to 8.5 by 8.5, okay? And it's typing paper. Yes, copy paper. So I go from this to this, right? Now, you may think, oh, well, that seems pretty easy. But as you can see, I've got to do a couple things. One, I've got to take some paper, and I'm just going to do a couple sheets so you can kind of see. So I'm going to take 3 sheets. I'm going to put it in my bath. In the bath, basically, regular water, whatever, nothing really fancy. I'd rather have warm water, but my classroom does not have warm water. My classroom has cold water. I want it to soak a little bit, not very long. Try not to tear it, but of course, I had way too much coffee this morning. And once it gets to that point, then what I'm going to do is I'll do this. I'll move this here so you can kind of see. I'm going to come this way and just leave it sloppy dropping, sloppy wet here. Overlap it, and all I'm going to do is say, okay, I want to have it kind of tinted. So I've got this kind of, I'm using acrylics thinned down to a watery solution. Okay, I got a roll of paper towels here. You can kind of see, if you can see that, it kind of spreads. It's really kind of neat. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. You know, and I'll take my paper towels, dab up a little bit, add some really nice texture. This will dry really light. It'll have an orange type of flavor to it. I'm going to say, okay, I always believe in the 2 colors rather than 3 or 4. You can do it, but then it starts looking like tie-dye. So I'm going to use a second color, which is basically Indian ink or black. I'm going to just splash it on. Try not to get it on yourself. Okay, and then I'll come in and do something like this. Put that back over. Again, I go in with my paper towels. And the overlapping part's kind of cool because once you pull this up, which I usually have a butter knife, take a butter knife, peel it back so you don't tear it. And you have something like this. Kind of cool, right? And then you just put it over on the floor, let it dry. So this is the easiest part I've ever seen, and the end result is stuff like this. Okay, so when the kids are folding, they're folding really kind of cool patternized butterflies and rabbits type thing off these cool colors. So anyway, that's how we do it. And my class today is having the kids do it. Last week I did it, demoed a little bit, and had them do it. I'm going to hold this last piece for you too, so you can kind of see it. The subtler the paper looks better. The harsher the paper, the darker. It's just like, unless you're using the black Indian ink, and that has a tendency of looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to come here. And what I like about this one here is this effect. So there you go. So everybody, this is kind of how we do it. It takes about a half an hour to dry. And I'll actually do probably, I think the last class I did, we did close to 300 sheets. But you can see I've got a lot of colors here, and that actually adds to the mix. But acrylic paint, thin down to water. Try not to make it too thick, because then the acrylic makes it really act like a plastic rather than an ink. If you have to, you just watch your, and it doesn't have to be expensive acrylics. It can actually be inexpensive acrylics. I find they both react the same, so why use expensive if you can get away with using inexpensive? But anyway, that's my process for making, you know, cool papers. And then my next thing is to do it subtly and then have the kids use these brushes and use these brushes and pretend we can do sumie. So I think you just push and raise up. So it'd be something like this. So this is my next step. So and of course it's a practice thing. And I'm sure not having coffee that's the reason for sumie brushes. But yeah, the brush, I'll make the brush work, but you know, you kind of get my idea. Anyway, everybody, on to making paper. Oh, always have a bucket of water so you can put your used brushes in it. Okay, keeping out.